the growth from the esports side of the Valorant game has been increasing each event. I think the overall fan base is going up and up, and it's great to see. And I'm looking forward to the future years and what's coming next, honestly. All I can say is that, it's just really exciting to see all the fans kind of cheering and coming to these events and like even in the Twitch chats and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, keep it up, everyone. Woohoo!
Thank you. Next question goes to Ye from Run It Back. Optic falls just behind DRX and Crew in terms of champions teams having played together the longest. What are your thoughts on longevity as a roster and how that has shaped your VCT 2022 run?
I mean, it's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. It sucks that I wasn't able to join them for Iceland, but the fact that as a roster that we've all made the lands since then and have established ourselves as the best North American team, I mean, I can't complain, and I hope it goes, continues to look up for us and we continue to bring home championships. But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Next question goes to Ben Kai from the Spike GG. Despite reaching the grand finals at Copenhagen, you were unable to take home the title. With the team being well rested and COVID free this time around, do you think you could bridge that gap and win?
I think anything can happen between these events, and we're coming into this event with the same mentality that we always had, which is just not expecting to win, and we're just going to see how far that mentality is going to take us, because the last time we had that mentality, we took us to the grand final. So obviously, like something we are doing is working. So we're just going to keep doing that for this event.
Thank you. Next question goes to Boaster from AFK Gaming. Who do you think is a dark horse of the tournament, and which team are you looking forward to taking on the most?
The dark horse of the tournament. I'm trying to think of every team in this tournament now. I honestly don't know who the dark horse is, because I think every team is like, every team should have that respect of being a champion team, because the reason that they're at this event is because they believe that they can win it anyway. So I don't know who the dark horse is. People would say like EDG because it's their first event and they're coming from we've never seen them before. But honestly, I think I've watched them play and I don't think they're a dark horse. I think they're pretty good. So and then what was the second question? Sorry.
The second part was, how do you feel about your? Oh, sorry. Which team are you looking forward to taking on the most?
I'd say I'd love to take on any team that's beaten us in the past, and obviously it'd be fun to play against Optic for once, since we
keep dodging each other.
Yeah, exactly. We keep dodging each other, and I think I want El Diablo versus El Durka. So I think that would be pretty fun.
Great. All right. Next question also goes to Boaster from the Spike GG. You've always wanted to lift the trophy on the international stage, and after recent performances, you look closer than ever. How do you feel about your chances this time around?
So this time around, I'm trying not to think about lifting the trophy, because every event I'm like, yeah, I believe that we can win it. And then we ended up not even getting to the final. So I think for this event, I'm just going to take it game by game and just be like, okay, we got 100 Thieves first. Let's give nature a reason to kind of remember me. And we'll see how it goes from there. And then we just kind of, go through each game there. But I think we're looking pretty good. I say that every event we're looking pretty good. But hopefully, like when we get onto that stage, we can just really enjoy the moment and perform like we kind of want to.
Great. Next question goes to Ye from the Spike GG. Optic has been the most consistent team in both regional and international competitions. What element of the team's gameplay or chemistry is essential to this success?
Probably our ability to adapt to the current meta at hand, because I think what a lot of teams kind of struggle with in general is they're good for like a meta or two, and then when there's a major shift in it, whether it be with like new agents or nerfs or buffs, usually they're pretty slow to it. So I think with us, we're always trying to experiment. We're always trying to do our own unique style and play. And I think that is probably the main reason why we've had such consistency.
Awesome. So that is all of the pre-submitted questions for this press conference. We will now open the floor to questions from remote media. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature if you'd like to ask a question, and we will call on you when it is your turn. First question from Declan at Dexerto.
Hi, my question is for Benkai. What sandwiches are you making and how many are you making?
I'll appreciate it if everybody starts asking the questions a bit slower because I don't have enough time. I've only made one for Bolster so far.
It better be vegetarian.
It is
Oh,
vegetarian.
it is. Okay. Oh, well, I'll have a bite then.
Okay, so I plan to make one for everyone.
Oh,
So
lovely.
please go slower, guys.
Shall I have I'll have a bite just out of curiosity. Imagine if I can't even play this event anymore. It's food poisoned me.
No,
You trying to sabotage us? Food
Oh.
poisoning?
Thank God, I've only got one pair of trousers and the juice is leaking on them. Oh no.
Great. Okay. Next question is from Alan.
Okay, hi, Bolster. I don't know if you remember me. Yeah,
Is
it's
that Alan
Alan from
Guy?
China. Yeah. So
Hello.
I hope so we still have the time for the what we have been talking about for an interview or an podcast. But so how is it really delicious about the sandwich?
It's not bad actually. I think Benkai does have a future after gaming if he decides to retire from it, that's for sure.
Okay, so another serious question maybe. A lot of person expect a lot from you and your team, and maybe especially Alpha because he's kind of, I think, I wouldn't like to say he choked in the last event, but yes, he didn't perform as good as he was in EMEA. So do you think this will be a better chance for him and for your team?
Yeah, so I think in the previous events we had two new players with Enzo and Alfia coming into the team, and I don't think they kind of realized the expectations and the pressure of like what expectations and having kind of a big support group does to a player. So I'd say for this event, for Alfia, it was his first event. For Enzo, it was kind of like dealing with all those sort of emotions. So I'd say yeah, I think the team wasn't like, we keep gaining
Recording
experience.
in progress.
We keep gaining experience, but I'd say we are ready for this event. Like Copenhagen was literally like last month. We've kind of talked to each other, said the pros and cons of kind of like what we thought about each other that event and what we could have done more and whatnot. And yeah, this event, the practice has been going well. We're all pretty positive. Yeah, I'm feeling like Alfia, especially in front of his home crowd. We want to get him there, and that'll be really lovely experience for him too. And yeah, with all the other boys, they're putting in the work, and so even if it doesn't work out, so be it. You know, it doesn't matter. In the end of the day, we'll hopefully qualify for another event. But in case this is the last event, we're just going to try and enjoy it as much as we can, and hopefully that includes lifting the trophy. But I guess we'll see.
Yes, thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Next question from AFK Gaming.
Hi, my question is for Benkai. Paper X was APAC's first Master Grand finalist, and you set the standard pretty high for the region. Do you think there's an added pressure on the team since you are incredibly close to winning Masters Copenhagen?
I wouldn't think so. Like everybody is saying stuff. Like I'm hearing things like, oh, you got fourth and then you got second. Surely you're gonna get the champions next, right? So I've heard that a few times, and I don't think that's the case. We are still not expecting to win the entire tournament. And if we do, that's great. And if we don't, we're okay with that. We're just hoping to set a better example for the APAC teams moving forward. And I just hope that APAC as a region can perform as well as we did in the last few events.
Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.
Next question from Lisandro Alarcon.
Hello, my question is for Tacolisha.
Hey.
And hey,
Hey.
the team. What is the expectations from the team and in these first champions? And what do you think of the group that you have been drawn?
Okay, we have a tough group, and there are pretty good teams and different play styles. And the expectation, we are trying to not make some great expectation. You try to enjoy the event just step by step and play against we got on our face.
Thank you and good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next question comes from Valorant Spike Bruce. This is for Ben Kai. Which team do you think is the most threatening opponent in the group stage?
Is this specific to my group or in general?
You could say for both.
For my group, I would say Leviathan, just because judging by their performance last event, I think they're easily probably the second next best contender that we see could give us a hard time in groups. And it's a bit hard to say for the entire thing because I'll just be picking out the team that had the best performance last event, which is FPX. So I'm excited to see how FPX re-innovates themselves from coming in from the last event and whether other teams are going to be able to pick up on that.
Thank you. Next question also to Ben Kai from Jute. How does it feel putting Southeast Asia on the stage and giving Singaporean and Indonesian players such a great amount of recognition?
Ooh, it's definitely an honor to be able to just bring the APAC region to the front stage for the first time, and just to show everyone else that it's possible. It's actually something that you can achieve in our regions, because having this as a profession, it's a bit looked down upon especially where I come from, Singapore. So getting those results meant that I was showing people back home that what I'm doing is actually possible. So yeah.
Next question from Sons of KS Latam.
Hello, can you hear me?
Just about.
Okay. This question is for Tacolilla from Leviathan. And at every opportunity, Leviathan and crew gives out good results. How do you feel the groups and each team, and which team can be complicated for you?
Which team is complicated for us on our group? Okay. The three teams we had on our group, it's they have a really nice players. They have a really nice individual talent, and they team play and play styles. They are pretty different, and each team has his own play style. And I don't know. I mean, when I say it's a tough group, it's because I think the three teams are really, really good, and that's it. I just want to play and really, really enjoy this tournament because it's gonna be a nice experience to me and for my team.
Thank you very much, and good luck with the all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question goes to Boaster from BFTV. Do you have time to see Istanbul? What do you like most in the city?
Yeah, we had some time because we came early, and we kind of took a tour of a part of it. It used to be a kind of horse racing area in the kind of Roman Empire era, So that was quite cool seeing all the kind of I think it was like there was the Egyptian pillar thing. Yeah, very good. I learned a lot that tour guide, that's for sure. There was also some Greek stone that was kind of like entwined and looked kind of snaky. So yeah, it was really nice. I did end up getting severely sunburned. I guess you could call it a typical white tourist in a really hot country. I did wear sun cream, but not enough. I haven't been outside in 3 years. I didn't know what sunbathing was until here. So yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's lovely. I mean, it can be a bit too hot for me. My balls start never mind. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it is nice. Yeah, very nice service. The people are very friendly.
Okay, the sandwich is actually pretty good, but
Right.
it is drying out my mouth a little bit.
Sorry, I should have put more sauce actually. You want more sauce?
More sauce?
Not too late. I have
You can choose.
tomato, basil, truffle mayo, and pesto.
Oh,
And he's chef too.
Yeah, it is.
you got the whole recipe.
Yeah, I have everything.
What's your personal favorite? Like, what's your go-to?
I like pesto.
We're now the press conference, not any of the people online.
Very fascinating. Next question comes from Esporin.
Hi, this is Ege from Esfarin, a Turkish media, so I will naturally be asking a question for Boster. I actually really wonder how playing in a LAN tournament in Istanbul will affect you, because it's homeland of Alpha Air, of course, and you will see fans cheering for you in the group stage and in the playoffs because Turkish fans love you, they love Alpha Air, and they will cheer for you. How do you think it's going to affect your performance?
So I think it's going to increase our performance. I've already equipped the Red Dragon Vandal, so I know it's all over for my opponents right now. Headshots are going to be coming in because I'm activating that Turkish aim. But I'd say, yeah, I think there's no, like I said earlier, there's no pressure. Like we've been to a few tournaments now and we haven't won any of them. So like, I mean, what's another loss to add to that belt? So I'd say that, yeah, no pressure. I'm just going to try my best. And I think we're going to enjoy the moment. And if we do get to the playoffs, which is where the crowd starts flooding in, then I hope that we can last more than one game. So then Alfia and like us can really experience what it's like to have a giant crowd kind of like rooting for us. I imagine they're rooting for us. We do have a Turkish player. So, but yeah, it'll be kind of, I think it will be a real kind of amazing experience. So like I said, I'm just going to take it game by game. So 100 Thieves first and hopefully see you at the event.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Bautista at chemarble.ok for Boaster. Besides the recent buffs of Brimstone and the increase of his presence in the meta, you're still playing more Omen and Astra. In your criterion, what makes those two characters a better choice at the time of playing?
I think it was because after Iceland, we saw the impact of Astra from Sugar Zero or Sugar Hero. And so Coach Minnie was like, maybe you should test out Astra still. She might still be viable. And then I was like, all right, I'll test her. So then we played the whole season, me on Astra and kind of like Omen as well, because Brimstone's only viable on a few maps, I'd say, like Fracture, Bind. And I think that might be it, unless I'm missing a map. I know that Optic did run him on Icebox in that kind of comp, that cringe comp. No, I'm joking. That's it. Throwback. So yeah, I think who knows what I'm going to be running. I think I can play all thick agents. So I got Omen down and dirty, and I've got Brimstone too. But I also quite like playing Astra as well. And I love playing Viper, but I only get to play on one map. So and that map normally gets vetoed nowadays. So I guess I'll never see that map again. So yeah, I think like, yeah, kind of what I said then. Yeah, who knows? You might see the Mali coming in again.
Yeah, but we can see the Auper Astra too.
Oh yeah, yeah. No armor. Oh, desperation play that was. What do we do? I don't know.
no, but
Dying or
New mid.
yeah.
Thank you. Next question comes from Level Up for Takolia. What are your thoughts about the level shown so far during these practice days by Leviathan and the other teams? And how smoothly has your preparation been as a team?
Okay, in these days, we have a lot of practice, and it has been good and bad practice, and a lot of learn and things to change and improve. And my thoughts is that the teams are really like equals or levels. I don't think it's like one team weak and one team like really strong. We play against a lot of teams, and I can say like it's gonna be a nice chance and good tournament because the level is like equilibrated, and I'm just excited about what's going on this tournament.
Thank you. Next question comes from Jinx Esports TV.
Hello everyone, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is from for Booster. Now that Pearl will be included in Valorant Champions, how will it affect the overall meta, and are you ready for the map? Also, how much do you think the map will be picked up?
Yeah, I'd say I like Pearl. I think it's a common occurrence that Fnatic, whenever new maps come out, we seem to be all right at them. Hopefully this is other than Breeze actually, but hopefully yeah, I mean hopefully this is the case where we're good at Pearl as well. It's hard to say if teams are going to be picking it, and it's hard to kind of see if teams are how good they are because it's so new and we haven't no one at this level other than a few NA games I guess have really kind of shown what's going on that map in the kind of meta of that map. So yeah, it's really it's kind of cool that we get to play a new map potentially. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I think teams will pick it. I don't know if it'll be any team's kind of first pick. They got to have massive massive bravery to pick that. That's for sure.
Great, thank you so much, and good luck, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question from Juked for Ye. What's the next type of agent you'd like to see come to the game?
That's a tough one, to be honest with you. Maybe I would say probably a new controller. I think we're probably overdue for a new controller for quite some time, and I think that'd be pretty interesting to see. Or maybe even like some form of agent that disrupts maybe abilities even more so than KO or prevents them in some way. That might be pretty interesting.
In the style of a corgi. That's what I'd like.
Awesome. Next question from Desk Gamers.
Anyone? Any takers?
I'd say so, but I think it is a little bit rough for the people coming from LCQ. But I do like the fact there was a little bit more time because at least my personal experience after Iceland, we had like a week before we had to start qualifying for Copenhagen. So that was a little bit rough, especially when there was a bunch of meta shifts, there was a new agent, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I am happy that they gave like a little bit more time, but I don't think the LCQ guys unfortunately got a lot of time.
I guess that's a punishment for being LCQ.
There you go.
Maybe, I guess.
Thank you. Next and last question. Actually, no. Second to last question will come from Alan.
Hey guys, it's Mel again. Yeah, so yeah, so this is a question for you because I think among these four people, you are probably the chambermain. So Yeah, so this is the post-chamber nerf meta. So do you think it really influenced your play styles, and how much would you think it influenced you? And are we possible to see you choose another agent besides chamber this champion? Thank you.
I mean, the nerf definitely did a few things, but for the most part, in my experience, it hasn't changed really much how I play it too much. I think you get a little less consistent value out of it because you get stuff a little bit less frequently, and you can't play in all these different angles, but you still can do a lot of the same things you can already. So there might be more nerfs needed, but who's to say? And in terms of will I be playing another agent? Well, yeah, I guess you'll find out. And also, it's not up to me to decide really anyways.
Thank you anyway. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last question will come from Dot Esports.
Hi, this question is also for Ye. Optic has been sort of a consistent presence throughout both international tournaments this year, obviously winning Reykjavik, finishing top 4 in Copenhagen, but it has been a bit of a struggle for the other North American teams, including Exed, who are here champions. How do you see the other teams from the region? How do you see them avoiding another falling short again?
It's hard to say, to be honest with you, because I think one of the things that makes us really successful is we have a lot of individual skill and also a lot of experience on the stage that a lot of other teams don't have. And I think for the teams that are coming from like North America, they don't have that same experience. So when they're out of their homes and they're not in their natural like playing environment, and then you throw them into like a, here you're at the international tournament and you're playing on a completely different setup and all that, I think it causes them probably to struggle a little bit more. So I think maybe if NA teams want to get better is they continue to qualify for these tournaments, keep gaining that valuable experience, also learn from the teams that are here and go from there. And maybe even some better coaching staff that have experience on stages and other games potentially, or even in Valorant would also be a benefit. So we'll see.
Thank you. And final question goes to Taco Leah from Level Up. What do you feel will be different from champions and the previous masters in terms of performance and results?
For us, it's a big difference. Is like we don't start now on playoffs. We have to play all the games, and it must be interesting. I don't know. It's like a tricky question because I don't know. I don't have too much expectations and don't know about too much about the future. And I just want to really enjoy the moment. It's what I'm focusing on. And like performance, it can be like I always want to be and try to be consistent with my performance, but it's hard to like decide. I just gotta play to know what's gonna happen.
Thank you very much. So this concludes the first press conference. Please stand by for the next press conference, which will begin shortly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for the sandwich, Ben.
Thank you. Bye.
I
appreciate it.
Right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Champions Istanbul pre-event press conference. We will continue with questions for Flipstrider from Boom Esports, Laz from Zeta Division, Stacks from DRX, and Haodong from Edward Gaming. Members of the media had the option to pre-submit questions or ask them live. We will begin with the pre-submitted questions first. So first question goes to Stacks from Run It Back. The 5 players from DRX have been an established team longer than any other group here at Champions. How has this core roster sticking together impacted team success throughout 2 years of VCT competition?
네, 스택 선수 DRX 같은 경우에는 지금 함께 활동 중인 5명의 선수가 가장 오랜 기간 동안 함께 활동하고 있어요. 챔피언스의 그 어떤 팀보다도. 그래서 이렇게 오래 같이 활동한 게 성적에 어떤 영향을 가져다는지 좀 여쭤보고 싶네요.
어쨌든 좋을 때도 있고 어쨌든 나쁠 때도 있지만 뭔가 딱히 생각해본 건 없어서 그냥 뭔가 당연하다라는 생각을 하는 것 같아요.
So sometimes it could be positive, sometimes it could be negative. It's not something that I've really given much thought to, so that's all I can say.
Thank you. Next question is also for Stacks from AFK Gaming. What was your initial reaction when you learned that you were featured in the Fire Again music video?
Fire Again 뮤직비디오에 출연할 거라고 소식을 들었을 때 처음에 소감이 어땠는지 궁금해요.
그냥 조금 나올 줄 알았는데 굉장히 많은 지분을 차지해서 기분이 굉장히 좋았어요.
I thought initially that I wouldn't have a huge role in the video. I thought maybe, I'd be in a couple clips, but I saw it and realized that I appear a lot more than I expected to. So I'm pretty glad and happy about that.
Thank you. That is it for the pre-submitted questions. Now we will open the floor for questions from remote media. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature if you'd like to ask a question, and we will call on you when it is your turn. You may also type your questions in chat and I will read it for you. First question comes from Alan.
Okay, so I will ask my question in Chinese, but I will also translate it back to English, so in case any other need to understand. Hello, Hello, 你好。Hello，这个不知道你们现在感觉怎么样？那个也是第一次到，我不知道你们队伍里面5名选手有多少人是第一次到海外来比赛的，然后这种第一次的经验，你现在感觉怎么样？
感觉很兴奋啊，但是也有一点紧张。
Okay, 我会稍微翻译一下。So my question for Haodong is, it's your first ever time to go to international line, and there may be a lot of people in your teams. That is the first time ever to go to a foreign, go to an international line event. And how do you feel? He said that it is very incredible, and yes, there are some nervous things. So 那浩东再问你一句吧，就是你觉得因为你们其实准备的时间比较短，那你在这么短暂的时间里面，你们现在也许有跟其他队伍有一些交流啊，或者什么样这样一些碰撞啊什么之类的，对吧？练习赛等等。那这样下来，你会现在感觉你们的自信心怎么样？你们会觉得你们这次的预期的目标会是大概一个什么样的水平？
预期我没有什么预期目标，我一直都觉得走一步看一步。
就是一步一步来，对吧？
对。
好，也是希望你们能够这个打出一个好成绩。So my second question for Haodong is, so you have a very brief time in preparing this line event, and I don't know if he had some scrim with other teams, and he said their expectation is just game by game, set by set. So just play it. Yeah. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Level Up for Haodong. What are your expectations for this tournament as it is both yours and EDG's debut at the Valorant International stage?
就问你说，你这次比赛，因为是 EDG 第一次参加国际的比赛，你有什么样的一个期待和预期？
还是一步一步走。我觉得最低的话，前8。
So we're gonna take it step by step, and my expectation will be like the top 8.
Thank you. Next question from Declan.
Hi, my question is for Laz. I was wondering if there is any update on 10 status with the team and if he has practiced with State of Division since coming to Turkey.
こちらの質問はラズ選手のへの質問です。テン選手の状態についてのアップデートがあるのか、そしてこのトルコに来るにあたり練習などができたのかについて教えてください。
そうですね。まあ、テンタの目の状況がかなり良くなってきて、悪化しちゃってから、病状が発動してから、病状が悪化してから6週間ですかね、1ヶ月半ぐらい経って、で、ようやく、まあ、完治とまでいかないですけど、まあ、良くなってゲームもできる状態になったってことで、こちらに来てから、トルコに来てからは、テンタを入れて練習しております。で、現在まだ XDL 選手が、どのマップで出るのか、どれくらいまでテンタが、出場できるのかと、まだ、確信に至ってない状態ではあるんですけど、まあ、トルコに来てからずっと練習していて、チームもどんどん良くなってきています。はい。
So Ten's eye condition is getting better and better. It's been 6 weeks since he was on this condition, and it's almost to full cure. And he's now able to play games as well. So ever since we arrived in Turkey, we have been practicing with 10. And as for Xdil, who was supposed to be the substitute, we're not too sure at the moment if which maps Xdil will be playing for. But with the practices with 10 and also the Xdil, we have been putting together as a team, and it's we feel confident about it.
Thank you. Next question from AFK Gaming.
Hey, my question is for Laz. How fruitful was your boot camp in Poland? And what is the major difference between scrimming in Europe and Asia? Like what are the differences that you see in terms of team strategy and gameplay?
ラス選手への質問です。ポーランドのブートキャンプはいかがでしたでしょうか。またアジアでのスクリームと比べて何か戦略的、メタ的な違いがあれば教えてください。
はい、ポーランドは8月の間1ヶ月間、ブートキャンプをすることができて、めちゃくちゃためになりましたね。まあ、助っ人の XD 君が急遽参加する状態になったことを考慮してもすごいいい経験だったなと思っております。で、メタとしては、まあ、やっぱりアジアと通用するものと通用しないものが全然違くって、で、それでいて、こっちのチーム、こっちのプレイヤーたちはなんて言うんだろう、プレイにすごいバリエーションがあるというか、いろんなことをやってきてて、まあ単純にやっぱり、こっちの環境でプレイすることがすごくレベルアップにつながるなというか、感じるシーンがすごい多くてっていう感じですかね。あんまり細かく説明できないんですけど、難しくて。
So we took the entire month of August for 1 month to practice in Poland, and especially with the new addition of Xdil to our team, it was quite worthy of the time. And as for the meta difference, yes, we felt that the European teams had a lot more variations in the strategies. So just by adapting to the strategies, we were able to level up as a team. So I can't really talk about any details of the strategies, but that's my overall feeling.
Thank you. Next question. Oh, sorry. Next question from Lisandro.
Hello, my question is for how long, and how does the team see the group they are into, and how do you see the level of Valorant in China, knowing that you have won the LCQ in your region?
你觉得就是我们这个分组怎么样？整个分组的情况，然后以及因为 LCQ 打得不错嘛，那你觉得整个所谓中国 Valorant 的水平怎么样？
我觉得 这个分组不是说很难嘛，努力一下出线应该还是没什么问题。然后其次 LCQ，整个中国在打的感觉就是，我感觉是在亚洲的中上游吧。
So we feel like, for the group, if we do our best, we can just come out of our group to advance to the playoffs. And also, like China plays like a different play style in Valorant, so we probably gonna be like middle to top tier of the whole Asia Valorant.
Thank you and good luck.
祝你好运。
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Bautista at chemarvel.ok. This is for Laz. You were a Cypher main in the beginning. Why do you think that this character got left behind? Would you like to play it again?
こちらの質問はラズ選手への質問です。ラズ選手は最初サイファーを、使っていたと思いますが、このエージェントが、今ちょっと、メタから外れてしまっている理由について、どのようにお考えですか？そしてまたサイファーをいつかプレイしたいと思いますか？
そうですね。個人的にサイファーはすごい好きなエージェントで、今も好きなエージェントトップ3に入るかなと思ってるんですけど、キルジョイが出たあたりでサイファーを使う理由がそんなになくなってきたなっていうのは感じてて、実際みんなサイファーよりキルジョイいるならキルジョイがいるなら、サイファーよりキルジョイを選ぶっていう状態になっていて、なかなか使われないだろうなとは思っています。ブリーズとか、それくらい大きいマップであれば、キルジョイが使いづらくなると、サイファー出るかなぐらいですかね。
So personally, Cypher is still my. I love the agent, and it's still my top 3 agent that I like. And as for the meta, ever since Killjoy has joined the agent selection, I think more people are picking Killjoy over Cypher. But as for a bigger map like Breeze, where Killjoy is not as effective, I think Cypher still has the potential.
Thank you. Next question comes from Valo to Asia for Flipstrider. Almost all of the members in Boom are first-timers in International LAN tournament. What do you think, and is there any pressure about that?
Hampir semua member dari Boom itu belum pernah ke champion. Jadi ini event internasional pertama kalian. Menurut kamu gimana dan perasaannya seperti apa?
Menurut gue perasaan kita sih excited banget buat main, biarpun ini event pertama. Jadi kayak kita bakal main game by game aja, nggak usah dipikirin, kayak kita nggak put expectation too high buat diri kita, cuman kita main aja. Terus menurut gue kita dapat advantage lebih karena orang-orang nggak terlalu mikirin tentang tim kita. Jadi menurut gue itu ada advantage buat Boom.
So he said that of course they're very excited, and since this is their first international event, they will take it like step by step, game by game, and not to put too many expectation, just to do it. And they said that this might be their advantages for them because like nobody's expecting anything from them. So yeah.
Thank you. Next question is from Valorant Spike.
Hi. My question is for UDG Haodong, so I'm gonna ask him in Chinese. 所以我想问一下，浩东选手对于 EDG 揭幕战面对哥本哈根大师赛的 PRX，整体的现在感觉是怎么样的？然后是否现在具有压力，以及包括目前整个队员的状态是怎么样的？That's all, thanks.
毕竟第一次线下嘛，很多东西都要自己去克服的，就像吃的也好，睡的也好，还有时差的问题。然后其实面对到 PaperX， 我觉得它并不是不能战胜的 我们跟 Paper Rex 在我这边感觉可能是个6-4开，我们是6。
OK， 谢谢。
So the question is for Hao Dong that your first match going into the group would be facing against the runner-up in Copenhagen, the Paper Rex. How do you feel about that? And also, like, you guys are first coming into the international event, and how do you get used to like everything? The Hao Dong's answer is like, so we gonna face like a lot of different difficulties coming into our very first LAN event, including like food, trouble getting sleeping, and things like that. But we are confident to take down Paper Rex. If you ask me about like the winning rate against Paper Rex, I would say like 60-40. We are gonna be the 60 part. That's it.
Thank you. Next question comes from Level Up for Stacks. Following your recent preparation and looking at your opponents, do you think this will finally be the chance to break through the semifinals and beyond?
최근 경기 결과 그리고 이제 대진에 따라서 상대 분석도 좀 하셨을 것 같은데 그거에 따라서 이번 대회에서는 4강 이상으로 진출을 하실 수 있을 것 같은지 어떻게 예상하고 계신지 여쭤보고 싶어요.
목표는 항상 우승이지만 일단은 저희가 실수 없이 한다면은 4강권은 충분히 진출할 수 있다고 생각하고 일단 어떤 일이 벌어질지 모르기 때문에 지켜봐야 될 것 같아요.
Yeah, our goal has always been to win the tournament, but as you know, it's not always as easy as saying it. I think if we don't make very many mistakes and we can play to our playbook, breaking into the top 4 should be very possible and a realistic goal as well.
Thank you. Next question from GameSpark.
Yes, question for Laz. I speak in Japanese. ラズさんに質問です。XDL 選手が急遽参加となったと思うんですけれども、1ヶ月のブートキャンプを通しての XDL さんへの印象だったりとか、チームへのフィット感を教えてください。
このまま答えていいですかね。そうですね。XL 選手は、すごい若くて成長幅の多いというか、そのモチベーションの高い選手で、やればやるほど伸びるだろうっていうところで、ポランドのきっとからの1ヶ月で、すごい成長したなとは思ってますけど、やっぱり同時に、ペンタがどれだけチームに大事な存在だったかっていうのを、再確認するような時間でもありましたね。はい、ちょっと、なんて言ったらいいかな。あんま言葉が出てこないんですけど、すごく優秀な選手で、これからもっと伸びていくだろうなとは思っています。
ありがとうございます。
So the question is about Xdil, who is recently joined as a substitute. Within the 1 month of preparation, what's your impression about Xdil as a player? And Laz's answer is, yes, he's a very young and motivated player, and he within the 1 month of preparation, he has improved a lot with us. But also during this time, it was a time for us to realize how important 10 is to our roster. And this is it.
Thank you. Next question goes to Stacks. What is your appreciation of the whole year, and what are the improvements and developments since Masters? And how do you feel about the group stage, which is evaluated as the hardest group you are in, and which team do you expect to compete with?
질문이 여러 개가 같이 들었는데요. 첫 번째로는 이제 올 한 해를 되돌아봤을 때 전반적으로 소감이 어떠신지, 그리고 두 번째로는 이번에 DRX가 참여하게 된 조는 많은 사람들이 가장 어려운 조라고 판단을 하고 있어요. 그래서 그 안에서 어떤 성적을 낼 거라고 예상하고 계시고 나와서는 어떤 팀이랑 상대하게 될 것 같은지 좀 여쭤보고 싶어요.
일단 첫 번째 질문에는 뭔가 제 스스로는 만족스럽지 못한다라고 생각을 하고 좀 아쉽고, 두 번째는 어려운 저라고 생각하는 거 저도 맞다라고 생각하고, 일단 그래도 저희는 무조건 플레이오프에 진출은 할 거고, 만약에 플레이오프에 진출해서 만나는 팀이라면은 저는 EDG를 만나고 싶어요.
Yep. So to answer your very first question, looking back on this year, I think it was a little bit disappointing for me personally. We could have performed better, but the results didn't reflect that. As for the group that we're in, I agree with you completely that it's one of the toughest groups at Champions. Nevertheless, I think we will be able to make it out. And if I could pick a team that I want to play against in the playoffs, it would be EDG.
Thank you. Next question from Esports World.
e スポーツワールドの井ノ川です。今回はラズさんに質問お願いします。前回の大会から割に充電期間があったと思うんですけれども、チャンピオンズに向けてチーム全体でどのような取り組みをされてましたか？また、あと、ラズ選手個人としてどんなことに取り組んでいたかっていうのも教えてください。
そうだな。チャンピオンズまですごい時間が空いて、しっかり休みを取りつつ、フルパワーでチャンピオンズに迎えたらいいなっていう状態ではあったんですけど、やっぱりスタンドインが入ることになって結構ぐちゃぐちゃにはなりました。正直なところ。で、ただ、やれるだけのことはやって、そうだな。他のチーム、マスターズ2に出てる間も、練習をすごい続けれたので、準備時間は他より長かったかなとは思ってます。個人練習ももちろんすごいしっかりやっていて、結構パフォーマンスも今までより出るんじゃないかなとは思ってますね。
ありがとうございます。
So the question is, with the longer rest you had since Masters 2, how has the team prepped for the for champions, and also personally, how did you prep for the champions? And Les's answer is because working towards champions, we had a longer break compared to other teams. So we did rest a lot, and we hope that we'll be able to perform at our full potential for this tournament. But also, we, as spoken before, we had a substitute, and it's also true that we had a lot of rework to be done. So with the hope we can take advantage of the longer preparation period and do well in the champions.
Thank you. Next question comes from Bautista at jmarvel.ok for Stacks. Your team is actually top 1 in Korea with a big difference with the second team. What do you think is the reason for this domination in the Korean scene?
네, 스탁 선수 한국에서 DRX는 다른 팀들에 비해 월등히 앞서 있어요. 그러니까 1등과 2등과의 격차가 굉장히 크죠. 그래서 어떤 이유 때문에 이런 현상이 한국에선 있는지 어떻게 생각하고 계신가요?
일단 저희들이 어떤 한국 팀들보다 저희는 그냥 세계에서도 연습량이 제일 많은 팀이라고 저희 생각을 해서 그거에서 아마도 많이 차이가 있는 것 같아요. 저는.
So I think the reason behind this, or the reason behind the big gap between number 1 and number 2 is because we just practice much more than any other team in Korea. I think I would go as far as to say that we practice more than any other team in the world. So that's the reason behind the big gap.
Thank you. Another question for Stacks. Who are expected to perform well in this competition among your teammates, and why?
이번 챔피언스 대회에서 DRX 내에서 어떤 선수들이 좋은 성적을 보여줄 것 같고 왜 그렇게 생각하시나요?
일단 저는 버즈 선수라고 생각을 하고, 왜냐면은 나이도 많이 없고 에임도 굉장히 좋은 선수이기 때문에 이번 대회에서는 지난 대회랑 다르게 뭔가 조금 만회할 수 있는 기회가 있을 것 같아요.
If I had to pick one, it would be Buzz. The reason I think so is because he's the youngest player on our team. He's very mechanically talented. And I think he's motivated to prove himself from maybe his shortcomings at the previous Masters.
Thank you. Next question is from Eric at Valo to Asia to Laz. After you successfully brought Zeta to 3rd place at Masters Reykjavik, is there any pressure for you to get higher place this time around at Champions?
ラズさんへの質問です。マスターズ1では、世界で3位という、 結果を残すことができましたが、今回それよりもさらに高い順位に行くということは、どのくらいの可能性を感じていますか？
難しい。なんて言ったらいいかな。前回マスターズ1でトップ3まで行けたことに関してはすごいうまくいったとも思ってるし、それだけのポテンシャルはあったと思っていて、今回、どこまでいけるか本当にわからないっていうのが正直なところなんですけど、できるだけのことをやろうと思ってます。
So yes, we consider Masters 1 a huge success for our team. And I think we had the potential to achieve that. But as for this tournament, to be honest, we're not quite sure how much we can do, but we're going to give it our best shot.
Thank you. Final question from Alan.
Hello, okay, this is a question for 浩东。Hello， 浩东。其实前面已经有很多问题问到你了。这个，那我想问你稍微轻松一点的话题啊，就是你们除了比如说训练赛以外，肯定会训练赛当中肯定会跟其他队伍有所交流。那这次你们来到土耳其之后，在这么短暂的时间里面，你们有一些在比赛之外有一些跟其他队伍或者其他选手一些交流吗？你有没有这样一些，就是或者你们队伍有没有这样一些经历能够跟我们分享的？
有的，就是 Life 跟康康还有我经常去跟 Stacks 聊天。
然后那你们有比如说你们会聊一些什么方面的内容呢？
游戏不止游戏上面啊，还有聊一些韩国那边我们不知道的东西。
Okay, 好的啊。So my question for Haldon is, apart from scrims, you of course you will scrim with other teams in Turkey and in Istanbul. Are there any are there any interactions and communications apart from in scrims with other team? And he said that yes, there are some very interesting things like he and Kang and Laz will sometimes and Stacks will chat together and talk something maybe in the game, maybe out of the game. So it is something that is not just about the scrims. Yeah. So that's my question and his answer.
Thank you very much. Okay, final question coming from BFTV for Laz. In every world championship, in every esport discipline, continental advantage is always on the desk. Iceland was won by an EMEA team Ascend. Do you have enough time to adapt to Istanbul and the time zone?
すべての、インターナショナル大会においては、その地域に所属するチームのアドバンテージというのが、時差などの問題によっても大きいと思います。今回、トルコでの開催に対して、慣れることができたのか教えてください。
そうですね。時差ボケは確かに1週間ぐらい、僕が住んでる日本とは、7、6、結構な差が空いてて、時差ボケ自体起きるんですけど、僕たちはポーランドに1ヶ月間先に、イスタンブールに来る前にポーランドに1ヶ月間ブートキャンプすることができて、そこで時差ボケとかはもう完全に解消されたなと思ってるので、あまりディスアドバンテージは起きないだろうと思ってます。
So yes, I usually have jet lags, and I believe Japan is 6 hours ahead of Turkey here. But because we were able to boot camp for 1 month in Poland prior to Turkey, we did get over our jet lag in Poland. So I don't think that we will have disadvantage for getting used to the continent.
Thank you very much. All right, this concludes the second press conference. Please stand by for the next press conference, which will begin shortly. Thank you very much for all the players and translators. right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Pre-Champions Istanbul press conference. We will continue with questions for Scream from Team Liquid, Angel from FPX, Cryocells from Xset, and Cruz from Xerxia. Press had the option to ask questions live or submit them ahead of the event. We'll begin with the pre-submitted questions. First question goes to Scream from Games Mix. What steps and type of training does Team Liquid take before any tournament? Is this your first time in Istanbul?
Well, hello. First time in Istanbul, very excited to be here, first of all. And I mean, our preparation with Liquid has been changed a lot because we changed coach and, you know, different approach, different way of like thinking and just like optimizing training. And yeah, pretty much.
All right, thank you. Next question goes to Cryo from Run It Back. After the quick elimination at Masters Copenhagen, what has Xset done to prepare for a longer stay during this upcoming LAN experience at Champions?
We haven't really changed much. We're just here to prove ourselves, and even though we went out early on last tournament, that was just what I see as a needed stepping stone for our run here at Champions.
Thank you. Next question goes to Angel from Run It Back. FPX announced the addition of Rhyme as a sub and Nailzinho as analyst. What can you tell us about Rhyme's role, and will he be subbed in on some maps?
No, Rhyme was used more like an emergency sub because we weren't sure I will be in time for the first matches. So our plan is not to use him as a sub on this tournament. And about Nelzinho is the guy who's helping us a lot in terms of like creating strats for this tournament and for like watching enemy playing when we're not gonna have time also.
Thank you. Next question for Scream from Games Mix. How do you balance between your normal life and professional one?
Don't have a normal life. It's a bit tough, to be honest, especially before a tournament. We've been training, you know, with all the changes and stuff. We had to put a lot of effort, and yeah, obviously it's gonna impact our normal life, and we're gonna have less time. But that's what we love, and I mean, that's the most important in our lives right now, I think.
Thank you. Next question also for Scream from the Spike GG. How has Demasic influenced the team's gameplay considering his versatility with different agents in the LCQ?
Yeah, Dimasic is a really nice guy to play with. You know, he's bringing some kind of motivation. He's very hungry to play and to win. So, you know, and he's also able to play any agent. We just ask him to play something and he's going to do his best. And he's an experienced guy as well. So, you know, only positive vibes with him so far, and very happy to be with him.
Thank you. That was it for the pre-submitted questions. We will now open the floor for questions from remote media. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature if you'd like to ask a question, and we will call you when it is your turn. First question from Alan.
So this is a question for Scream. Hi, Scream.
Hi, man.
Hi. So Liquid has been 2 times, right? You qualified from LCQ last year and you qualified from LCQ this year. So,
right.
But you showed really a dominance win over Mac over M33 in your EMEA LCQ. So, do you feel that this is the best shape of Liquid? This is the best shape of you of maybe Nevera and Yampi?
I would say so. Yeah. I think we are, you know, we know ourselves better than we did, you know, a year ago. We learn from our mistakes, and I think we changed a few roles as well. I took over the in-game leading role, and it fits us pretty well. It helps us as a team, and so far I'm very confident that we're gonna do some good damage at this tournament. Definitely.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Next question from Sons of KS Latam.
Hello, this question is for Angel from Phoenix.
Hello, Son of Chaos.
Hello, Angel. Hola. And how do you feel the level of your group, and who do you think is the most dangerous of all the teams?
It's very hard to tell. It's very hard to tell in this tournament. Every team have some ups and downs. And to be honest, I'm more afraid of not going out of groups than winning a tournament. I think going out of group gonna be like the first big challenge for us, because I respect all the teams in our group, and I think everyone can do like great fight.
Thank you very much for the answer. Muy buena suerte.
Sorry, what?
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to you too, bro.
Thank you. Next question comes from Only Games Latam for Scream. What do you expect from the match against Leviathan, and how do you assess the level of Latin American play?
I know them pretty well. We've been playing against Crew a lot in the past tournaments. You know, they're a very dangerous team. They have showed in the past. They had like a really good tournament when they went in the finals, I think. You know, as Angel said, we like every team is very dangerous at this event. We can't underestimate anyone, and we're gonna give everything, you know, to pass the group stage. Very important.
Thank you. Next question from Bautista.
Hello, Batista.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was I was mute. Sorry. And my question is for Scream. How does it feel to play with your youngest brother in a such a high level? Is conflictive, or it has positive points? And how are the things? I don't know, in the family dinner.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm living a dream with my brother, I think, and there's only positive to this. I don't see anything negative, and like, you know, it just gives you extra motivation to win when you see that your whole family is behind you. You know, I think everybody wants to make their family proud. You know, so you know, no extra pressure, but definitely like a positive thing for me as a player. I have been around for a while, and I think I needed this. I needed this to keep up my motivation high. Sorry, and yeah, it's doing a great job. I'm super motivated. So
thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Next question from Des Gamers.
Good.
I don't see any pressure on us, to be honest. It's like we're not setting a clear goal for us, you know, like we need to win 2 tournaments in a row, otherwise GG. No, there is nothing like this. We're coming here to play our best game. Unfortunately, situation with our Prague before tournament again went not that good for us, but we get used to it already. So we will do our best, and the goal is to go as far as possible. But first, we need to go through the group stage.
Thank you. Next question from Dexerto.
Hi, this question is for Scream. I was just wondering how it felt to see you and a lot of the other pros in the Fire Again music video.
I mean, it's a honor to be a part of this. You know, Riot is doing a great job. You know, I'm very grateful to be here. You know, and yeah, I mean, if I can be featured in some videos, or you know, I'm not gonna say no. It's a pleasure.
Where is Angel?
Huh?
Where is Angel?
Angel
in video? Where is Angel? No.
I mean, they should have got you, I guess. But did you check the whole video?
No, I didn't watch that.
Because I had to pause, you know, like a lot of times to see myself. But
I think someone would like tell me.
Yeah, probably. But you'll get in the next one, I'm sure.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Next question from Sentinella.
Hello guys, I'm Pedro from Centinela, and my question is for the fourth man in the table. A lot of people are coming to the Valorant Champions as a new spectator, new fans. I mean, why these new people that is watching Valorant esports need to follow you along the tournament?
I think because we play a game different from every other region. Like people will call us like, even in our own region itself, like we have Paper X, we have Boom, but every team from our region plays a very unique style. So you can't really put us in like the APAC region. It's like, it's the country in the region itself that plays differently. So the styles we play is definitely different from the rest of the world. So that's probably why you'll need to watch us or not, maybe. Yeah. And my name is Cruz, by the way. I'm not the fourth guy on the table. Thank you.
No. I mean the four men in the table. I mean.
Oh, for four guys.
Yes,
sorry.
yeah. Don't
sorry,
worry, man.
my bad.
No,
But my
no,
name
no.
is Cruz, by the way.
It's okay, man.
Does anybody else want to answer?
No.
If I can answer, I would say I don't want people to expect too much from EMEA and forget about all the other regions. Like I think, honestly, they're probably more dangerous than us. So yeah, I'll be careful. I'll be careful.
Cryo?
No, I just want to say that like there hasn't been a region that has won a consecutive tournament 2 times in a row. I just think that you should be watching out for any region. All the teams here are amazing teams that have made it to champions, and I just think that whatever team shows up on certain days you just got to make sure you show up on the day that you play.
Thank you. Next question is to Scream from AFK Gaming.
It's good to have you, Scream.
You can answer for me.
You can chill. No.
What are your thoughts on the VCT moving to a franchise league format? Do you prefer this year's format or the new one we're heading to in 2023?
I mean, it's the first time for me as well. If I get a chance to be there, I think it's great. It's great for players, especially young players, to have a chance to be a part of the franchise. It's important for their future to be in this environment under Riot. So, I think it's a good thing.
Thank you. Next question comes from Lissandro.
Hello, guys. My question is for Angel. And what do you think about the group you're into? And how do you see the level of EMEA at these champions comparing it with other regions?
It's very hard to tell about EMEA level because we didn't saw us and Fnatic play in current meta, right? We only saw LCQ, and LCQ level was pretty high. But I don't think I can predict how EMEA are gonna do on this tournament. So we'll see. We'll see. About our group, as I told you before, I respect all the teams in our group. I think if we're gonna relax, we can be easily be punished for it. So our plan is not to relax.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Next question from Run It Back.
Thank you. This is for Cruz. We'll get you another question on the table. I just am kind of curious, as being one of the top teams in your region, being in this position that you've been in before at an international Valorant tournament, I'd just like to know, in your mind, what does Xerxia need to do in order to strengthen themselves to compete at the global level, to not just be one of the best in the region, but to be one of the best in the world?
Probably our confidence, like the way we play in our region, like we're really confident in taking duels, but then it becomes a lot harder here because if we're overconfident and then we lose the duels we should win, it could cost us a lot of rounds. So it's probably just a mindset that we just need to play like what we used to play and just reset real fast if we actually
mess up in that particular round and not let it affect like the whole game. So I think the gameplay is close to what we used to do in our own region, but just like the confidence level of taking fights is not there yet. That's all.
Thank you. Next question goes to Scream from Esporin. It's been a point of debate since very long that your game style is very dependent on your personal skill and aim ability. What do you think about this? Do you agree that you have a unique playstyle which is hard to copy by others?
That's a tough question. I think on Counter-Strike, I can agree with that. My game style was more based on aim and having winning the duels. But I think on Valorant, I changed my mind. I changed the way I approach the game, and I understand the game. I mean, it's a different game. I think you can't rely on your aim that much on Valorant, so you have to think more. You have to be aware of the meta and every little micro stuff you can do in Valorant. So I wouldn't agree right now.
Thank you. Next question, also to Scream from BFTV. There are many Turkish FPS fans and players seeing Scream as a role model by aiming. There are also funny trash talk moments before with BBL. Do you have any special messages for Turkish fans?
I mean, I love my Turkish fans. They're amazing, you know. They're full, you know, like very emotional, I think, and you know, I can only be grateful for the support they give us and they give me.
Thank you. This question goes to Cryo from Agentes and Linea. Considering that in Masters, they started in the playoffs, being in the first international event, do you think that being in the group phase this time will benefit throughout the tournament? And what do you think about being able to face a Latin American team again?
For sure, starting in groups it gives us more time to settle in, playing matches on stage. Yeah, I mean, our last match was at Copenhagen, so it's been a while since we played an actual tournament or a match, so it'll definitely be a positive. Playing LATAM, you know, we never underestimate anyone. We just kind of treat every team the same, and we're just here to prove ourselves.
Thank you. Next question from Bautista.
Yeah, hi. I have another question to Scream. And you started playing Phoenix in a couple of matches. So the thing I want to ask you is, do you think that Phoenix is a viable option right now, or is more like something circumstantial?
All I can say is that you guys are gonna look at this tournament and judge by yourself.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you, man.
What are Phoenixes?
I don't know.
All right. Next question from Scott.
Thank you. This is a question for Cryo, but anyone who has their own thoughts on it can chime in as well. Does the future of partnership kind of looming in the background of this tournament create a little bit more nerves or pressure to perform well at this tournament?
I wouldn't say so personally, no. I mean, every team that's here should have the mindset of focusing on the tournament itself. For me personally, I'm just here to play at an international level, and that's always what I've wanted to do in front of a crowd. Yeah, for me personally, no.
Not for us also. I mean, I think FPX secured the slot for a franchise. Like, I mean, as a players individually for sure. So no pressure.
All right, thank you. Next question from Games Mix.
All right. This question for Scream. Hello, Scream. How are you doing?
Hey, man. I'm good. Thank you.
All right. It might be a little bit funny question, but what is the team do you think is more competitive for the champions?
The team that what?
Competing for the champions. The naming.
That's gonna win the tournament.
All right. Yeah. I just need your opinion on who is the best team for you in this tournament.
It's a very fun question.
Very fun. Not of picks. It's a bit hard to say on Valorant, especially as my brother here said. There's no team that won two tournaments in a row, no regions, so it's very hard to predict. It would be beautiful if FPX wins this, I think. But we're here, so it's gonna be harder. But honestly, I'm a bit surprised Fnatic never won a tournament. I always put them in a really high position in the world. I think they're a really good team, but so far they haven't won a tournament. So all these new teams coming up, PaperX, it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict. I don't have a best team in this tournament, if I can answer honestly.
So FPX.
I wish for you the best. Okay, thanks
Andrew.
too.
Only Andrew.
Thank you. Next question from George.
George?
Hello, everyone.
this
How are we
George.
doing? Angel.
I thought it's another George.
Hey, no, come on. You guys are stuck with me. I know you all love it. Come on. Anyways, yes, I have a question for Scream. I would like to ask you about your opinion on the North American region, the teams here. Do you still believe that they're not as good as what they may think they are, or what do you think about the North American teams?
Weird you didn't ask me about the ratings.
I think this question is over. That's a question we asked like a couple events ago, but they're good. They're good. Optic is a very good team. I think Honda Chiefs have been showing really good stuff in LCQ. They have really good individuals. They could pop up. They have young players, but it's gonna be hard for them because of experience. But I wouldn't rate any NA right now as like one of the best regions. I think AMEA, APAC, I think they're better. Sorry, man.
Thanks.
Interesting.
Thank you very much. Oh, can we get thoughts on Cryo from that one, or? Not trying to instigate or anything, but
what you're doing.
Not trying to instigate. I'm chilling. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Next question, please.
Oh, I love you all. Thank you, anyways.
Thank you, George.
Thank you. In the interest of time, I'm going to ask questions from journalists who haven't asked yet. So we have a question for Scream and Cruz from Desk Gamers. This is the first time a Chinese team, Edward Gaming, will be participating in an international event. Looking at their strong performance in LCQ, do they look like more of a threat compared to others?
All right, brother. Okay, so for me personally, I think they are a threat. They are a very big threat, because we've been scrimming them a lot, and to be honest, they have the best scrim results I've ever had in the whole 2 years of Valorant. Even in EMEA, coming to LAN events, the scrims with them are totally different, and I really want to see what they put up on stage in front of a crowd.
Yeah, I heard the same thing from Stacks. He just told me they're the best region, they're the best teams. So I'm very excited to be in that group, and hopefully I get to play these guys. And I heard they're very aggressive as well. So it's gonna be interesting matchups.
It's fine. We'll show which is Chinese org is the best, bro.
All right, thank you. And last question goes to Cruz from Valor to Asia. You're up against heavy contention in your group. What's the focus for the team being on coming into champions, and what progress you've made compared to the last two masters?
The progress we've made is probably fixing our mistakes and having more time to scrim, because the last tournament, it was really tight. We didn't really have time to prepare. We just used what we used in the previous events. So coming into champions, we have been scrimming a lot more and having additional plans. But then, of course, the groups we are in is a very tough group to get out of. So we're just hoping to do our best and actually show what we've got, what we've prepared, and come into this tournament.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. This concludes the third press conference. Please stand by for the next one, which will begin shortly. champions. We will continue with questions for Sadhak from Loud, Noswer from Furia, Klaus from East Crew, and Lizo also from Crew. Press had the option to ask questions live or submit them ahead of the event. We'll begin with pre-submitted questions. First question goes to Sadak from IGC V-Zone. How confident are you guys for this champions?
I think we have a pretty good shot. We did a boot camp, so we managed to iron out some mistakes we made on Denmark. Yeah, we're feeling pretty confident.
Thank you. Next question is for Klaus from Run It Back. Crew Esports has one of the longest lasting roster of 5 here at Champions. With the team reaching every international Valorant LAN thus far, what can you say about the importance of keeping a team together in this esport?
Creo que al hacer un roster de A5 y llevar tanto tiempo de preparación, ya van casi 2 años con este último Champions desde que hicimos el equipo, la base siempre fue la misma, fuimos yo, Masino y Naxet, después los players fueron cambiando y yo creo que todo ese tiempo se aprenden, hay momentos bajos, momentos altos y nada, lo que los hace un equipo de verdad es poder pasar esos problemas por encima y poder salir adelante y seguir igual y eso te crea un vínculo especial en el equipo y creo que suma.
Being in a team with all that time, but the roster of 5 for so long, and 2 years of preparation, it really supports and creates that foundation, a base where the players can learn and they can learn from the low moments, from the high moments as well. And also it's what really makes the team learn from their mistakes and just continue to improve.
Thank you. That was it for the pre-submitted questions. We will now open the floor for questions from remote media. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature if you'd like to ask a question and we will call on you. When it is your turn, please direct your question to one player. You may ask your question.
Recording stopped.
You may ask your question in Spanish as well.
Recording in progress.
First question comes from Dixerto.
Hi, my question is for Sadhak. So after this tournament, moving into 2023, we're going to be having the international leagues. And I was just wondering, in your opinion, what's kind of the defining moment of this kind of pre-international league Valorant now that it's kind of coming to an end, whether it's a tournament, a play, or just something that happened?
I mean, that's a hard question, but I think maybe it's going to determine the end of an era, right? The end of maybe that any team can compete and go to champions in a way, because now the franchising is coming, and I think it's going to be like a new way of competing. And yeah, I think that's it. I mean, it's an end of an era, and the champion is really important, so it's going to be great.
Thank you. Next question from V-Zone.
Hi, Garzinski. Eu perguntava para o Sadak. Sadak, a gente viu, né, a Loud jogando a final, 2 finais, né, contra a Optic e agora em Copenhague vocês também jogaram contra eles e agora de novo vocês estão no mesmo grupo com eles no Champions, né? Eu queria que você falasse a sua opinião, se existe algum benefício de ficar enfrentando os mesmos times em todos os campeonatos.
Gonna have to say next question for that.
Okay. Next question comes from Bautista.
Otra vez sorry, sí. Yeah, it happens again. I turn on the microphone, but I'm not in Zoom. I'm sorry. Mi pregunta es para Sadak. ¿Cómo estás, Matías? No solo sos el único argentino en el equipo, sino que también sos el capitán y sos el único hispanohablante. ¿Cómo te manejas con el portugués? ¿Fue difícil al principio? ¿Cómo llegaste hasta Loud y decidiste apostar por un equipo con una comunicación que no es la tuya nativa?
Mira, al principio sí fue difícil, pero después de vivir tanto tiempo con los brasileros, inclusive antes de Valorant, lo fui aprendiendo a poco el idioma. Y para mí entrar en Loud fue un proceso natural, porque yo pasé de jugar en Argentina, en Latinoamérica sería con Estral, después de eso me quise ir para Brasil, después competí un año en Brasil y Loud para mí fue el próximo paso dentro de Brasil, así que fue todo muy, muy natural.
Muchísimas gracias, que tenga buen día.
Gracias.
The question was to Sadek. It was that he's not only the only Argentinian in the team, but the only Spanish speaker in the team. And they were asking how he got to Loud and how the communication was working out for them. The answer from him was at the beginning was a little bit difficult, but with such a long time, even before Valorant, he started learning. It was a very natural process to get into the team and to get used to the team, even before he went into Brazil and when he was playing for Latin America and then the transition for Brazil.
Thank you. Next question from Dexerto. From Declan. All right, next question from Gaming Coffee.
Hi, hola, ¿se me escucha? Perfecto. Mi pregunta es para Klaus de Crew. ¿Cómo manejan en el equipo en general la presión de haber llegado al Mundial, teniendo en cuenta de, bueno, que los latinoamericanos somos muy intensos con estas cosas, más que nada?
¿Podrías repetir la pregunta? Porque no entendí bien en qué conlleva la pregunta en sí.
Teniendo en cuenta de que en Latinoamérica somos bastante, más que nada por ahí también los argentinos, somos bastante intensos con el tema de llegar a mundiales. ¿Cómo manejan la presión de haber llegado a un mundial de un eSport, siendo que acá está como creciendo eso recién?
No, creo que nosotros ya lo tenemos bastante normalizado por el tema de que ya venimos clasificando a casi todos los torneos que, por así decirlo, todos los torneos que se hicieron presenciales. Entonces, todos los torneos para nosotros es un mundial. Obviamente el Champions tiene un poquito más de peso porque es el último torneo del año, pero ya estuvimos el año pasado y es algo obviamente que nos motiva y es emocionante estar de nuevo acá. Y nada, ya es como algo más habitual, no tiene tanto peso, pero obviamente querés estar.
Muchísimas gracias.
The question was how Crew manages the pressure, knowing that LATAM and even in Argentina specifically, some fans are very passionate, especially for Worlds and for Champions and for big events like that one. And the answer was for Crew, they already have it normalized. They've been qualified for every international event, especially all the events live, and they all feel like champions. They all feel like a World Cup. They all feel like that kind of level. And yes, this one has a little bit more pressure, but it's always very exciting. And at this point is very natural for them as well.
Thank you. Next question from Sons of KS Latam.
Mi pregunta va para Klaus de Cruz Esport. Hola, muy buenos días. Bueno, ¿cuál es tu opinión respecto a los resultados que se han dado competitivos en nivel LATAM, incluyendo ahorita que hay 2 equipos participando en este torneo, incluso tenemos hasta latinos en otras regiones? ¿Qué opinas de todo ello?
Creo que por lo menos lo que es Crew y Leviatán está pisando bastante fuerte en lo que es el competitivo hoy en día, mismo como se nota no solo en nuestra región, que también estamos cerca de Brasil, sino que también se nota en Europa, en Norteamérica, se nota que estamos al nivel en muchos aspectos y obviamente no solo como región, sino que tenés 2 claros ejemplos al lado mío, que viene uno de Brasil, los dos vienen de Brasil y Furia clasificó, ya van 2 veces que clasifica el Champions. Loud es el primer año competitivo de Valorant, pero los players son similares al año pasado, entonces de alguna forma está pisando bastante fuerte lo que es Valorant en Latinoamérica y creo que se nota.
Muchas gracias por tu respuesta.
The question was how Klaus feels about the results that Latin America has gotten, and especially with so many Latin American, with having two teams and also having Latin Americans in other teams like Loud and Furia. And the answer was that Crew and Leviathan specifically, they are very strong, and it's not only noticeable in Latin America, not only in Brazil that is next to them, but now even in Europe and North America. The examples, even for Latin American players that have proven to get under swords, are next to him. And with Furia being able to classify now more than one time from last year as well, and even Loud, the results that they have been able to get this year. And it just Latin America feeling really, really strong and something that they're able to tell everywhere.
Thank you. Next question goes to Sarak from BFTV. Welcome to Istanbul. Turkey and Brazil teams have a huge rivalry in esports. Do you have a special message for Turkish fans, and do you like the hospitality?
I mean, if I have to be honest, I find the Turkish people very passionate. Even on a daily basis, they seem like a really strong people. That's actually really, really good because they're not like, I don't know how to say it, but they're very welcoming in a way, but they're also very passionate at the same time, kind of like a really strong passion, right? So yeah, I mean, for the Turkish fans, all I have to say is thank you guys for receiving us so well, and I hope we can give you guys a show.
Thank you. Next question from Lisandro.
Buenas tardes. Mi pregunta va para Klaus. ¿Cómo se siente Crew de cara a una nueva Champions, sabiendo de que clasificaron por LSQ? Y cómo, si sienten algún tipo de presión, ya que son el único equipo del mundo que clasificó a todas las internacionales.
Gracias por la pregunta. Específicamente la presión siempre está, pero obviamente hay que saber cómo controlarla como equipo, saber que eso no te tiene que jugar en contra a la hora de jugar. Y sabemos que estamos bien preparados también para este último evento en el año. Sabemos que venimos de un largo camino que no solo arrastra este año, sino que arrastra el año pasado, que clasificamos a todos los eventos presenciales y ahí no casi ni paramos hasta este año. Entonces fue todo de corrido. Y de alguna forma este año aún más tuvimos que jugar en las Chance, que fue menos tiempo de descanso, menos tiempo de poder prepararse y más jugar y tener que demostrar, tener que ir a Brasil a jugar ya, ni bien terminó el otro torneo, tener que ir a Brasil y jugar en las Chance. Entonces, de alguna forma sabemos que estamos preparados, tal vez no venimos de la mejor forma, pero sabemos que todo este recorrido estuvimos aprendiendo a cómo perder, a cómo mejorar y cómo levantarnos, y la chance fue eso.
Gracias y buena suerte.
Muchas gracias.
The question was, how do they feel for these new champions, and if they feel pressure as a team knowing that they've been qualifying for every event? Answer from Klaus that the pressure is always there. It's more a matter of being able to control it properly as a team so it doesn't play against them. It has been a long journey since last year, and it never really stopped for them this year, especially. They didn't really get a lot of time to play after qualifying for Masters 2, going to Masters 2, then playing Last Chance Qualifier in Brazil, and that just meant less of a break for them and more time to play. Going to Brazil and Masters and making sure that this journey has been more than anything always something that is allowing them to surprise everybody else and to learn from all the mistakes.
Thank you. Next question from Esports World.
e スポーツワールドの井ノ川です。ラウドの佐々木選手に質問があります。今回初戦で日本のゼータディビジョンと戦うことになりましたが、日本のチームはどのような特徴があると考えてますか？また、話せる範囲でいいので、どのような点に警戒しているのかを教えてください。
This question is for Sadak. So the first match is against the Zeta Division from Japan. What do you think the characteristics of the Japanese teams are? And if possible, could you tell us about what you fear in them?
So the Japanese team set a division in this case. They tend to be really aggressive and they have really good players to do so. So I think that's mainly the strong part and the part we have to look after, because if we let them gain confidence on the stage, they're just gonna roll us. So it's gonna be like we need to stop them before they get too confident. And that's the difficult part to play against them. They have really good players and they're really aggressive. So yeah, that's it.
日本のチーム、特にゼータディビジョンはアグレッシブなプレイスタイルが目立ちます。で、さらにとても強い選手もいる印象です。で、彼らに対して警戒している点としては、自信を持たせてしまうと、そのまんま試合の流れを持ってかれてしまう可能性があるので、その前に止める必要があると思っています。
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question from Alan.
Yeah, thank you. So my question is for Klaus. So maybe two questions. Yes. So first, Crew has never been, like you said, Crew has never been absent from any international line. And what do you think is your major secret, a major way to keep your team, you and your team that is very competitive in your region? So this is the first question. Yes. And maybe the second question, yes, I'll just say it along. So my second question is, you used to be an Overwatch player, an Overwatch pro player. So do you think that that past has some kind of helped you? And how do you see that, being in different past titles, has that, how does that shape players into this game? Yeah, thank you.
Bueno, primero que nada, creo que no hay un secreto en sí de cómo llegar a los torneos, solo es tener la motivación y juntar a esas 5 personas, a esas 7 personas, 6 personas, el coach, el analista, todo lo que tengan esas ganas y esa sangre por querer jugar y ganarlo todo. Entonces, yo creo que nuestro equipo es un gran ejemplo de eso y de tener esa motivación siempre y de poder levantarnos a cualquier adversidad. Entonces, es más como una virtud de los 5 jugadores y el equipo que se armó. Y la parte del Overwatch yo creo que obviamente me ayudó porque fue uno de mis inicios en los esports y pude de alguna forma vivir de eso en algún momento. Entonces me ayudó como en todo sentido, como profesional, como para mejorar mi mentalidad, obviamente, y para saber cómo se crea un equipo, cómo se lidera un equipo tal vez, y todo en un equipo. Entonces yo creo que fue una parte muy importante el Overwatch en mí.
To the first question, he answered, there's not really a secret to how to qualify for those tournaments. It's just having the motivation and having all the team having that blood to want to win it all. And because of that, Crew is a really good example of that team that is so passionate. And about the second question regarding Overwatch, he says Overwatch really helped him because it initiated his career in esports as a professional. It also helped with his mentality and even to know how to be the leader of a team. So Overwatch was really important to him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question goes to Sadak from VZone. You guys face Optic in both Masters and now Loud is on the same group as them. What are the benefits to always facing the same teams?
Gonna have to pass that question.
Okay. Next question comes from Sentinella.
¿Qué tal, chicos? Mi pregunta es para Klaus y Sadak. A pesar de que apenas es la segunda edición del Valorant Champions, muchísima gente nueva va a venir a ver el deporte, ¿no? Y por ende vienen muchísimas personas o muchísimos jugadores que se van a inspirar a través de ustedes para empezar quizás su carrera profesional. En este sentido, ¿qué palabras tienen para ellos y por qué es importante para estos chicos empezar a ver el competitivo de Valorant y sobre todo a ustedes o apoyar a su equipo?
Vos, por favor.
Bueno, para los nuevos jugadores, yo creo que las únicas palabras que debería decir es que si alguna vez creyeron que no se podía vivir de jugar, están viendo acá muchísimos ejemplos de que un sueño se puede ser posible. Para los nuevos jugadores, que Valorant es un juego increíble, es un juego muy lindo de jugar, un juego fácil de aprender, un juego que nunca se termina de masterizar. Entonces, que vean, que vean que vean la transmisión, que vean los campeonatos, que vean los streamings, que les guste el juego, ¿no? Que simplemente vean eso.
Que disfruten, es
Que
lo más
disfruten.
importante.
Sí, bueno, agregar un poquito
No,
más.
que disfruten y que de alguna forma sepan cómo mejorar, no intenten llegar a ese ritmo tan agotador de querer ser mejor y intentar, no sé, frustrarse por eso, frustrarse con tus compañeros. También ser un jugador bueno no es solo ser el mejor, sino saber cómo liderar, saber cómo tratar a tus compañeros, saber cómo crear un grupo, cómo crear un vínculo. Entonces,
Claro, no solamente dentro del juego,
no
por
solamente
afuera del juego también.
para el juego también. Entonces, lo más importante es disfrutarlo, obviamente.
The question was, even though this is only the second Valorant Champions, there's a lot of people that are watching for the first time. There's also going to be a lot of people that are going to be inspired and they want to maybe follow this career path. What words do they have for those people and why should they watch and support? So the initial response that we got was, if there was someone that initially thought that playing video games for a living was not possible, now you can see that it is actually possible and that dreams can become a reality. And it's a game that is easy to learn. It's a game that you never really stop learning. There's always something new. And there's they're willing to continue watching and just motivating those people to continue watching. From Klaus, at the end, what he said was to enjoy the game and to really know how to be better, to never get tired and frustrated, but actually have a good learning method that doesn't really frustrate the player that wants to become a pro player. And also the last thing that they both agree on is to treat their teammates right, not only inside of the game, but also outside of the game, just create that bond.
Thank you. Next question goes to Klaus and Sadak, but open to everyone else from Desk Gamers. What's your initial thoughts about Pearl? Do you guys enjoy playing it? And are you guys expecting any teams to pick it? Or can it be a decider map in best of threes?
Creo que con Klaus ya hablamos mucho, ¿no?
Sí, ya no.
Muchachos, ustedes.
¿Dos?
Sí.
¿Qué opinas de Pearl? Bueno, qué sé yo, nosotros lo practicamos este último tiempo. La verdad que nos parece un mapa bueno. No creo que sea muy complejo y sobre todo al principio de la meta del juego, del mapa, que están todos viendo más o menos cómo se juega. Así que sí, creo que todos lo vamos a preparar. No sé cuántos equipos lo van a piquear, pero creo que es un mapa bastante simple y que se puede jugar.
Es copado, no es como cuando
Sí,
sacaron Icebox.
Claro, sí.
Bueno, yo lo veo como un mapa con una propuesta nueva, como lo fue Fracture, ¿no? Entonces, las primeras impresiones que me da el mapa es exactamente que va a ser jugado diferente al resto y para el competitivo está bueno que haya esas propuestas diferentes en todos los mapas.
Right.
Muy bien.
So
Bueno, la única pregunta ahí.
Lo tenemos todos, ese mapa,
So the question about the map and the initial response that we got was from Liaso. He said he really liked the map. It's not going to be too complicated at the beginning, especially at the beginning of the meta, but he doesn't know how many teams are going to be picking him. They've been talking about it. They've been definitely discussing it, but they don't know what teams are planning and if they're going to bring them or when. And from Nussword, the answer that we got as well was that he really likes how it's a new proposal, kind of similar to the new ideas that they got when Fracture came out as just a completely different map that is going to play very different. And so it's a nice one to have.
Thank you. Next question from Prensa Esports.
Hola, muy buenas a todos. Mi pregunta es para Leazo. En la Masters habías comentado que había mucho espacio de crecimiento para el equipo. A partir de este momento, pues pasaban por el LCQ y me gustaría preguntarte si el equipo, primero, ¿cuál ha sido el aprendizaje que ha tenido los jugadores, tú como coach? Y si acaso han alcanzado el techo que tú habías propuesto o si lo han rebasado en cuestión de nivel.
No, a ver, yo creo que el equipo está en constante crecimiento. Me parece que haber tenido que atravesar todo el proceso del Last Chance en Brasil creo que nos hizo muy fuertes a nosotros, porque sinceramente fue algo muy complejo de atravesar. Pero sí, yo creo que en ese momento se vio que el equipo estaba unido y nos sirvió a todos como crecimiento en general. Y después con respecto a el juego en sí, yo creo que somos un equipo muy emocional, que cuando estamos completamente proactivos y proponiendo, le podemos ganar a cualquiera, y creo que eso es lo que tenemos que tratar de apuntar, y me parece que cada día estamos un poquito más cerca de eso, de tener esa constancia que buscamos. Y no sé si llegamos al techo todavía, espero que no.
Ok, muchas gracias por tu respuesta y suerte para este torneo.
Gracias.
But so the question was that Lasso said in Masters that there was still a lot to grow. So the question is if they have surpassed the expectations in crew, or if they're still kind of getting there. And that also goes to the improvement that he had. And then the answer was they're always growing, they're always improving. And the Last Chance qualifier in Brazil actually really helped them out because it was a very difficult one. And they were able to be very united, very together to be able to make it through. He also says the team is a very emotional team, and when they're feeling proficient, when they're feeling proactive, they can win against everybody. So it's right now more a matter of what he said towards the end was he doesn't think they've reached that ceiling just yet.
Thank you. Next question from GameSpark.
Yes, my question for Sadak Loud. I'll speak Japanese, so please translate. 同じグループには過去何度も戦っているオプティックゲーミングがいますが、特別なライバル意識などはありますか？また、今回のチャンピオンズへどのような姿勢、意気込みを持って挑もうと考えていますか？お願いします。
So this question is for Sak. So in the same group, you have Optic, who you have faced again and again. Do you have any feelings about any rivalry between Optic? And another question is, what is your stance towards champions? What's your stance towards?
I mean, we played Optic so many times this year. It's kind of feel. I mean, it's feeling like a rivalry for sure, but it's not quite yet. It's not quite there yet, you know. And yeah, I mean, my position to play champions is to win. Of course, as everyone else, we're gonna just do everything we can to surpass the expectations and win the championship.
オプティックとは、何回も、今年戦うことになって、徐々にそのライバル関係というような、関係になってきているように、思います。もちろん今年のチャンピオンズに向けての、姿勢というのは、勝つことになります。で、皆さんの期待を超えて、優勝までいければと思っています。
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Due to the interest of time, we will take one final question, unfortunately. If you have other questions after the press conference, you can feel free to send it over and we'll try to get those answered. But final question goes to Liazu from Crew from Level Up. Having such a short time between Masters Copenhagen, LCQ, and Champions, which did you focus on to improve on for this tournament? And what are your thoughts about the group you will play against?
No, a ver, con respecto a la preparación que tuvimos, lógicamente no hemos tenido la que quisiéramos, pero la realidad también es que somos uno de los equipos que más competencia tuvo hasta el momento y creo que eso nos va a servir bastante. Y más de lo mismo, enfocarnos en corregir nuestros errores, la comunicación, la propuesta y todo eso. ¿Y la segunda pregunta cuál era?
Grupos.
Grupos, y los grupos yo creo que están bastante parejos. A ver, lógicamente jugamos contra el campeón, siempre es difícil, pero en líneas generales creo que nos tocó un grupo bastante parejo y creo que tenemos chances de pasar, así que estamos contentos, pero bueno, es eso, es un grupo bastante sólido, puede pasar cualquier cosa.
So in terms of preparation, it obviously hasn't been ideal because of the amount of tournament that they had in the elections qualifier and everything else, but the experience really, really helps. And now it's a matter of like fixing those mistakes and that communication. The question regarding groups, even though they're going against the champs for Masters 2, and it is obviously always a difficult one, he feels like the group is still very balanced and anything can happen.
Thank you very much. This concludes the Champions pre-event press conference. Champions will kick off at 5 p.m. Turkish time on Wednesday, August 31st with the first match between Paper X and Edward Gaming. Thank you, everyone.